Work, business, economics, they make the world go round. They are the foundation, the engine for providing man with food, clothing, shelter, education, everything for man's livelihood and lifestyle. Remove work and business and we can't survive. It's really that simple. Look around you. Everything God didn't make, some man or woman did. Labor is God's gift to mankind. It not only provides us with the necessities of life, it also gives us the opportunity to take our dreams, visions, and skill sets and make them real through work. Jesus said in John 5:17 that the Father has always worked and always will. So will Jesus, and so will we. Heaven exists, but it's not a retirement village. Work and serving others through our work is what we Christians are called to do, and do with excellence. We should be the ones leading the world in creating capital, jobs, and in training others. If the SCS Business Leadership School has its way, we will. More than 30 years ago, Dennis Peacock, a former business owner, professional economist, and the president and founder of Strategic Christian Services, began his quest to discover God's intent for effective labor that honors Him, serves people, and God's intentions for a biblically based system of economics, currency, banks, and production. The results of that search finally led him to the founding of the Business Leadership School in 1996. 3 million air miles later, and after years of ministering globally on business, economics, church building, relationships, and leadership, Dennis and his colleagues are able to bring unique and even revolutionary insight on business and leadership training for men and women called to make a difference for Christ in the marketplace. So what is the Business Leadership School and how does it work? Better yet, does it work? Let's hear from some of its graduates and instructors.
What I've experienced at the Business Leadership School is that the school has given me application to that gospel of kingdom teaching. And it's taken it from very big picture and it's brought it down to, and it's challenged me to continually make it relevant to me personally, to my family, and to my workplace.
Well, there's certainly no lack of business books and seminars competing for our attention. But what sets SCS apart is its focus on the very wisdom that God used in establishing the foundations of the created order. And this is the same wisdom we have to get our minds around if we're going to be effective in taking dominion over and stewarding that creation, causing it to yield its bounty, so to speak. And Dennis and his friends have spent years searching for those treasures of wisdom, and they're uniquely gifted in imparting those to others. And that's what the business school is all about.
And I think SCS does a very good job of, number one, validating people that they are called to the marketplace. It is a call that God has on their life. And if that's true, then God's really interested in that and has some specific things He would like to do through them. And I think what SCS does is help, number one, awaken people to that and then help them to get from point A to point B as far as where does God want to take them.
Come to this thing thinking that I'm going to learn how to do business better, and you don't realize that there's so many other things that are driving, what you're doing in your life, and the way you relate to your wife, the way you relate to your kids, the way you relate to God on a personal level, all these kind of things. It's really not a business school, it's a life school,
Strategic Christian Services is well named because this is a ministry and a program designed strategically to develop leadership for the kingdom, the eternal kingdom of the living God. And as a result, Strategic Christian Services is laying the foundations for long-term transformation and success.
We learned a lot last night about how God wants to take and transform our families and take us into that next place of leadership and purpose with our families, and that the core piece for kingdom starts with our marriage, our family, and what we want to produce with our lives, and then it goes out from there.
It's very challenging, and but it's got more rewards than anything else I've ever done in my life.
Dennis is not only the real deal as a Bible teacher, but he is a man of God. I know of no one who can articulate the dynamic truths of the kingdom any better than Dennis.
Operating now in Canada, the U.S., Mexico, Central America, Europe, New Zealand, Africa, and beyond, this 2-year correspondence school is definitely changing lives, producing capital, new jobs, and prosperity. Beyond all that, it is honoring marketplace ministry and ministers as the incredibly valuable ambassadors of Christ they really are. It's a 2-year, intense study which takes about 3 hours a week to navigate successfully. Students listen to CDs, read books, and are personally mentored by the school's trained course facilitators. Scheduled discussion groups between students and facilitators take the revolutionary concepts into practical reality. Its tuition is more than reasonable and created to be in the realm of all interested marketplace ministries, from owners and CEOs to those working on any level. The concept of this course focuses on 2 things: leadership skills and the skill sets of building effective organizations God's way. It is absolutely unique. What do you do for a living? Is your work an act of serving God and others, or just a job? Is it really about money or providing for yourself or your family? Hey, let's take it to its true level, God's level. Let's do business God's way. Check it out. Go to the next level. God is globally pulling together A-level players in every sphere of life. What level do you want to play? The Business Leadership School. scsbusiness.org